Well, I am heading to the Meadows. I'm going to be a little bit late. I know, you don't believe me. I'm going to be a little bit late. Going to the Meadows. I get up today and, I always say to you guys about the old guy who told me, son, you need to know when the race is over. The race wasn't over till this morning. I took it pretty hard when Globetrotting raced poorly. When you have a horse that you believe is culminating, is getting to that place where you want her to be so bad, and they don't perform the way you want them to. You have to go back. I go back, obviously, as a driver. I take my job seriously. I might joke, but I take my job very seriously. And I go back and watch the race. What happened? What took place? Was it me? Did we not have her prepared as well as I thought we did? Did she just not, Globetrotting's not that type of horse where you get away ninth, you float on the outside, you stay on the outside the whole way, cover or not. Maybe she just became disinterested. Maybe she became tired. I just felt like, when I left, I knew what Dan Noble was doing. He was giving Ronnie Wren a hole so that he could follow him. I wanted no part of that. I want to follow Ronnie Wren. So I just laid outside of Dan. Laid outside of him and then caught the cover I wanted. I look up at the 3/8. Things are going our way pretty good. Chris Page is getting stretched. Aaron Merriman's coming first over. You know that he's going to take a round out of him. This is working out pretty good. Halfway down the backstretch, Globe just didn't fire. And I said to Jason after, we can be upset, but this is literally the first time in Globetrotting's career where she come off the track and I just said, wow, she sucked today. She just wasn't good. I've seen her make a break. I've seen her not be herself and be a little flat, but always had a reason. Really, I couldn't find one. Couldn't find one last night. So every good horse throws in a clunker, and unfortunately you never want to see it be on a big night like last night for us and for her. But like many things in life, you don't get to choose what takes place in front of you. You do the best you can to influence what's about to take place, but at the end of the day, as somebody said, and everybody always says, and I always say, that's why they race the horses, right? That's why they have the races, whether it's Walk on the Moon being in a place in hindsight where you couldn't and maybe shouldn't have been, or Globetrotting not racing as well as she should have, and then you have to look at the flip side of that. My Jazz was about the 7th best filly in that division heading into the race and finished a very, very solid 3rd place. So you have to understand that racing is racing, and sometimes it doesn't work out the way you want, but if you continue to, it's great in baseball to hit singles and doubles and win games that way, but everybody wants to hit a home run sometimes too, and if you stop swinging for the fence, nobody's ever going to remember who you are, and you're never going to have fun doing what you do. So, very pleased with My Jazz last night. The ride she's given the My Jazz group has been incredible. Good for them. It's what horse racing's all about, and a great testament to our program. There's a filly that came from very meager beginnings, very affordable and inexpensive yearling who's put away some serious money this year. I'm not going to talk about that side of it. I never do, and I don't have to. If you want a piece of her, you don't need a calculator to figure out what's going on. She's done a great job this year. And Globetrotting, although she hasn't put up the numbers of last year, she still has lots of money to race for the rest of the season. So, although the race took a long time to end for me, it's over now. I've turned the page. We're going to investigate maybe what took place last night. We're going to draw blood on Globetrotting, figure out if something happened. Maybe she tied up a little bit on the way down to the racetrack. It didn't appear that way to me. She seemed pretty comfortable after the race. Maybe it was just a 9-hole-itis. But a good filly overcame 8-hole-itis. So anyway, I don't want to dwell. It's over now. We're going to look forward. Globetrotting is the Elegant Image coming up. Hopefully if we can get her on track. She still has the Pegasus, the Breeders' Crown, and another race after that. Lots going on still the rest of the year for Globetrotting. What I did want to talk to also, I told you I didn't want to these videos will go out at noon time or so, because I wanted to take my time and catch my breath. You know, it's been a bit of a blur the last week or 2 weeks between racing everywhere, racing these horses in this race last night, and then going to look at babies. I looked at a number of youngsters. 5, 6 farms we're up to now. Some of the major farms I got to blow through. Now, a place like Spring Haven, we looked at all their babies, but as you can see, they have a lot of consignments also, and those consignments were not present. So there's a couple of horses people said, you look at this one, you look at that one. I looked at every horse at Spring Haven yesterday. So some of the horses just weren't present. But I do have Curtis's microphones and my phone, and whether it be Kirby or Jason or somebody, we're going to go and do a ton of videos for you guys leading up to the sale. 2 days before, if the horses start getting there at nighttime 2 days before, I will be there at nighttime 2 days before, because I want to look at a ton of horses again. Yeah, we saw them in the barn, they look pretty. I got a real good idea of who I like and maybe who I don't like that much, who I think is going to go for a lot, and who I think are bargains or could be bargains. Now, this year is a whole different animal altogether. This year is a year put together of financial questions surrounding COVID-19, not just for the sales, but for us also. And I was very, very pleased to get a phone call this morning from a couple of our clients saying, Anthony, you know, great job with My Jazz. Obviously, I think the post got you with globetrotting. Didn't want to get into that. But they also said, we know in your videos that you've been asking for people to reach out and let you know about interest in the sales in the past. And I told them in the past, I haven't really been so concerned because we have a lot of clients. We were going to sell a lot of shares. And if we didn't sell them right away, we would sell them at some point. And we usually had people that were standing behind me to help carry the load. And those people aren't, those people, I have to assume, aren't in the same financial positions they were before COVID-19. So it puts me in a difficult spot, right? I got, that release I was on is much shorter, and I have to be very careful what I do. So again, I've reached out to people throughout the summer, and I will continue to into the fall. We're going to take it sale by sale, and I'm going to work hard to make sure the horses we buy are the right horses for the stable. The horses we buy have interest from people going into the sale. And if I can, wouldn't it be great if the horses I buy are sold out by the time the next sale comes? Now, that's going to be tough. Ohio lays right on top of Lexington. But I'm going to work my hardest to make sure that by the time we get to Harrisburg, our past sales are cleaned up. That will be a challenge. Obviously, there's always been a lot of horses on the stable market, the stable.ca, for people to look at throughout the winter. Last year, it didn't matter if you bought them in October or you bought them in March, because the bills and stake payments attributed to that particular file, that particular horse, was on the cost price. So it didn't matter. But to do that, I would have to have people, again, that stood behind me, and I can't ask those people to continue to stand up not knowing their financial positions and knowing that they still have a lot of money invested in the stable. So I need to change things up and be a little more responsible this year. So in doing so, I'm going to continue to reach out to our clients and say, if you have interest in participating this year, let me know if you do. And actually, to be quite frank, let me know if you don't. Maybe you just are sick of the stable. Maybe you're sick of my dumb videos. I don't know. Maybe you don't want to buy any horses. Maybe you're just going to sit from the sidelines for a while. And feel free to drop me a line and say, hey, Anthony, I don't think I'll be participating this year. We've had some people do that, and that's helpful also. All of this information allows me to build a plan moving forward for the yearling sales this year. So we are going to Ohio. Ohio has been our bread and butter. The select sale, I've looked at a number of angles. A couple of horses I think are going to go for a decent amount of money that I believe we should have a serious look at. A couple other horses, more than a couple, I think you know that. Let's just use the word couple for now. A couple of horses that I believe are going to be very affordable. Are we talking My Jazz affordable? I don't know about that, but I think very affordable. And I think we're going to have a number of breeders to work with. So my plan for this year is simple. Put together groups of people to buy all the horses we have. I would like to have Ohio and Lexington paid for before we go to Harrisburg. The reason being, obviously, because it would be helpful for me, but most importantly, it gives us a new outlook on the scenery, the financial scenery, heading into Harrisburg. And I also believe we're going to be doing business with a lot of breeders privately this year. We're going to focus and market towards them because they are going to be in trouble. Quite frankly, there's going to be a lot of breeders in trouble this year, and we want to make sure that we have the ability to be an outlet for them also. So that will be our platform for available shares. I think will be mostly private breeders that have sent us horses that we haven't been able to do videos of or market in the same manner. So people need to see them trained down before they get too interested in them. Those horses can take a long time to sell out, but at the same time, if we work out agreements with the breeders that are amicable and they're okay with what we're offering, what we're saying we can provide, then that's exactly what we're going to do. So we have multiple business plans. We have my God, there's a lot of police officers on this road. Well, good for them. We have, as I said, going to Ohio, looking at the horses, buying our horses in groups in a much more clamped down group setting. So I have a number of horses I put forward to you already. I have had dialogue with a number of clients. We are going to be looking at filling up those groups, and some of them on the price point that I have for those horses just now, as I've seen them at the farms. We have a number of people, and one horse in particular, we have 80 or 90% already sold of that horse. So when the gavel drops, if we get her for him to her for that amount or for less, then that group's already filled up, right? For the most part, it will be. So you're going to see the horse sold to the stable, but there's not going to be any shares available as it's already bought out. And that's important for me. In the past, I like the idea of giving people, here's 10 horses we bought today. What do you think? I like that, right? It gives people the flexibility to decide after they've, had a cup of coffee and deliberated with their significant other on it, but taking the time to say, I like this horse, or I like that horse. So this year's going to be hopefully a little bit different, and to be quite frank, how effective we are at doing that will paint the picture of how flexible we are heading into Lexington, how flexible we are heading into Harrisburg. So this video is important, obviously. Let me put last night to bed, and I think it's important to do that, both for myself as a driver and a horseman and the guy who manages the stable, and for you, our clients. Maybe you're a client of ours with My Jazz or Globetrotting. It's been a great ride with both of these fillies. One filly's got one start left, the Ohio Breeders' Championship for the Little Jazz, and Globetrotting's got a number of stakes coming up. So put that to rest. Again, have the dialogue with our clients about what we are going to do moving forward, what we have the ability to do moving forward. And also, I think I should make one more video also talking about what we're doing next week. I am going to be going home next. The plan is for me to go home next Friday afternoon, this Friday afternoon, see my family, and I believe on Sunday maybe we'll have a broadcast for you guys talking about what went on this summer so far, what's going on in the fall. Just to have an open dialogue so that people can in real time ask questions, and I can explain to everybody what I see happening in the fall, what I saw happen in the summer, what I like, the highs, the lows, how we're going to fix the lows, and how we're going to try and continue to grow from the highs. And that's what we're going to try and do. So next Friday I get home. I believe next Sunday is the plan to have that broadcast for you guys. So it's in the works. Kelly has to talk to Curtis, but we will be getting into that also. So a big week coming up again. Today, West 52nd, I think, is one of the favorites heading into the race. A trailing post for him, not a big deal. I think he's grown and matured as a racehorse, and I think he'll be just fine today from the trailing post. I have one of Tim's. I'm staying overnight for a couple of days at the Meadows. Tuesday, Spirit of Dio, A couple other horses going. Wednesday, we have Sebastian Yu and a number of other horses going there. They're back in action. So lots going on this week again. We're going to continue to race here in Pennsylvania. We still have some racing coming up. Thursday, we are in Scioto for the big night for some other fillies and some other groups. Rose Run Why Not makes her debut in 2020 in the Sire Stakes at Scioto. So does Mama Knows Best in the Buckeye. I think that's her first Buckeye. Yeah, it is. Makes her first start in the Buckeye. We have one more fair for those horses. And then we also have a stake race after that, a second Buckeye. Now, this is why it's important. If Mama Knows Best and Rose Run Why Not win out 2 for 2 in the Buckeye, I don't know mathematically. I'll leave it up to our analytical geniuses at thestable.ca, our mathematical wing of thestable.ca. Can they, will they, might they make the Buckeye final? Mama Knows Best has already made the consolation of the Sire Stakes. So has I'm a Lovely Lady. So that's good. They're both going to race for $75,000 still before the year's up. But wouldn't it be nice to race Mama Knows Best and Rose Run Why Not in the Buckeye final? Now you might say to yourself, well, why don't we do that with I'm a Lovely Lady? That ship sailed. This is the 4th Buckeye. I'm a Lovely Lady raced in the 4th Sire Stakes. She's not allowed to move around. Remember, this is why we didn't race Mama Knows Best in the 4th Sire Stake. So still a lot of stake racing going on. Still a ton of racing going on. We have had a fabulous summer here south of the border, although it's been a little tenuous, a little strenuous with everything going on. Definitely with me, my family not being here, it's been a little tough on me. But my wife and I are very resilient and understand that this is something that we have built. We have poured our as they say, our blood, sweat, and tears into thestable.ca, and not the coronavirus or any other virus is going to keep us from achieving, or at least attempting to achieve, our goals. So you should know by now the resilience of the McDonald family, and how dedicated we are to our craft, and very, very pleased with the way the summer has gone in the U.S. Ontario has had its high spots and has had its low spots, but we're looking to polish that up, and also a strong fall coming for a lot of those horses also. So lots going on, still tons of racing in the summer. We have turned the page now. The Ohio finals night are over. My Jazz, fantastic. Let's just say that Globetrotting succumbed to 9-hole-itis, and leave it at that, and try and build on that start also. So take care. This is the last video I'm doing for you guys for Monday. It is Monday. I'm on my way to the Meadows. I'll be there in about 2 hours. Hope you guys had a good weekend. Take care.